What a day. What a day. I mean, it's beautiful. But wow. And yeah, I'm smoking in the house. I get the window open. Well, I get the door open. That helps. What the hell am I doing? It'll cost you everything. I mean, I knew that because I was told that, but I didn't know what that meant. I just wanted to be done with it one way or another. And by done with it, I guess I meant all of it. I mean, all of it. Relationship? No. Situation? No. Work? No. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. I'm done. I'm done with the living in survival. I'm done with broken. I'm done with dysfunctional. I'm done with crazy. I'm done with shit that ain't real. Shit that ain't real. It was time to get real. I walked away. I took some time, headed up to camp, and I learned a technique for me that allowed me to bring myself back into my body, be present, be aware with and of my body, and realize, wow, this is teamwork. This is teamwork. This is not me, is actually three. Because that's how it works. It works for me like that. Anyways, I've heard stories of others that it works that way as well. This doesn't work. It'll cost you everything. So I walked away. I learned a technique, and I started realizing that something just things in my world present as true, and yet they can't be, because my experiences are, well, they tell me something different. This looks different. This is not what I expected. And it doesn't feel good. This feels like it's disharmonious, but I can't for the life of me figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do, because I'm twitching and moving and reacting to and coming up with plans for every noise that happens, everyone who speaks. Still trying to hold this. I am here to serve. Energetically serve myself, apparently. By serve, I mean put myself on a plate and give myself to something or someone else, because that's what I'm supposed to do. So I couldn't do what I was doing anymore. I could not. I could not survive that way anymore. So this time I left, and I had no idea when I was coming back. And I don't honestly think I was planning on coming back. And when it settled in, when like the switch, the big switch in the back says, and now the end is near. I get to pull this one. It's not technically suicide. I'm just like, mission accomplished. I'm out of here. This place is a fucking zoo. I've done what I meant to do. I'm headed later, because this is horseshit. I'll catch it the next time around. It's no big deal. I am ineffective at this point. I didn't understand that a lot of these thoughts were being introduced because I didn't have the wherewithal, the strength to be able to discern at that point. Again, authenticity brings with it powers and great responsibility. It'll cost you everything. So I was permitted, actually, to get so far as to shut the body down enough that I was more or less headed out of it. Just not that big a deal. Sometimes voluntarily, sometimes involuntarily, I've been out numerous times. I thought I had the whole thing figured out, and death is simply transition. I'll just shut it down and, whatever comes next. It was so cute, according to Spirit. Oh, I died all right. Big fan of the idea. Let's roll through some of your recent past. Thousands. Being able to experience just enough of a life that I've lived to see the end of it over and over and over in every conceivable way. Some were good. Some were awesome. Some were awful. And the places and the times and the wasn't always human. There was a lot going on. And part of that process was to burn away. I had seen too much of my own experience, which apparently is wisdom if you learn from it. I had seen too many of my own incarnations. I had seen too many of the times that I had passed. And what I was shown is, and now you are all of them. You get the gist. You get the idea. It's the same thing you've always been doing. You scan and you identify. You're able to see the way that energy moves. You're able to see now the way that you have been able to move the energy. And through that, I was shown ancestors and really, well, it was a mess. And it explains all of the conflict, all of the everything. Everything was brilliant and beautifully, perfectly, tragically spot on. I mean, I was, yes, I understand. Yes, I understand. I saw my mother's place in all of this, in the grand scheme of this. And it was amazing because I think my release contributed to where she ended up going. That got her some points, I think. I guarantee it did. Seen her since. So we're here and we're now on a day that just sucked when it started. And Spirit says, you got to tell people who you are. As a precocious 19, 20, 21, a little earlier than that, some of the crap in the high school, I got showy with manifestation. I used to be able to do essentially parlor tricks, mess with flames, mostly fire, which is funny because Cancer, water sign. I'm actually air. I think I would drop back into working with air as the wind picks up. And water second. Earth is tough, but I'm getting better. I understand, actually, I'm really good at earth, but the feeling is that I don't understand it as much as I do with air and with water. And again, these are primal forces, metaphorically speaking. It's loose interpretations of how energy works. Anywho, for 30 some odd years, because of some of the experiences that I've had that didn't make any sense, I go from this, like this flashy, wizardy kind of a kid, always weird. People are like, I don't know about him. Shake a hand, know more about a person than they might even know about themselves. Boom. And just, that's for my information. That's for my purposes. I will inform you if there's something I think I can assist you with. But other than that, the physician's creed kind of a thing. It's like, no. Your business is your business. I can tell you what I think, but you didn't ask. the weird back and forth. I have to move. I have to smoke my cigarette. I have to try and stay on task. It blurs. When I got to be a medic, I would read people and understand, at least energetically, I could see-ish, be very much drawn to places where things didn't work. And I became a medic because after 2 years of being an electronics tech, I think the Navy was tired of me blowing things up. I grounded out an electrical pole during a heavy thunderstorm and rains and everything else with an ex-girlfriend's dad. He's cutting down the tree. I'm holding up the tree. I weigh $1.nothing. Apparently they found a chunk of wood that had like my handprints, like it was burnt around the edges. And I was like, why don't you hang on to stuff like that? I think that would be kind of cool. I'd put it on the mail or something. Like, doesn't dawn. Should have killed me. Instead, it made me sparky. My field would interrupt electronic systems. Still does. This phone thing kept recording, and I was looking through the gesture settings, and I was like, none of that should actually happen. I don't know why you're doing this. Because of my sensitivity to energy, when I shake somebody's hand, I can also tell whether or not there are attachments on them. When I grew up, I would have night terrors, and my mother would literally get possessed by demons that I later learned have been going down through our family, picking off as many as they can, because apparently my line carries something that's worth them trying to pick it off. And you can't just go all fucking, John Wick and shit and take people out like that. It doesn't work that way. Again, these are suicide demons. These are the ones that are going to make you take yourself out, which then frees your soul for them to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do. They can claim ownership, yada, yada, yada. You took yourself out of this game. And frankly, the big guy's not a fan of that either, because this is a gift. Being embodied is an amazing and rare gift. And all that is.